So I can look at what the fair value is of Bitcoin using a Metcalfe's law model, and it would have told me that in 2017, the fair value was $10,000. So when it hit $20,000, it was destined to go down. And it did, all the way to $3,000 because people got overly pessimistic. And then it rallied, and I could see that the fair value in 2020 was $30,000, but we went to $69,000. So it was going to go down. So I believe fair value today is 55K using that Metcalfe's law model. I believe that every halving 10x's the total value of the network. And that's just because the number of people and the way Metcalfe's law works, and there's an exponential growth factor. So I think this halving goes to 100,000 will be the fair value.
Today, we have the Chief Executive Officer of Morgan Creek Capital, Mark Yusko, giving us his latest prediction for Bitcoin in the midst of the volatile crypto market as we near the last part of 2023. Yusko dismisses recent criticisms of Bitcoin and the lack of regulation we're seeing, and believes that these criticisms have been used to impede the approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF, while other ETFs have been readily approved, creating a discrepancy between paper and physical assets. Yusko also highlights that the upcoming halving will propel Bitcoin's fair value to well above $100,000, driven by the increasing number of participants and growing adoption in the crypto space. Yusko calls into question the timing of these regulatory decisions, suggesting that BlackRock could become the first major institution to secure approval for a Bitcoin ETF. He underscores the significance of this so close to the Bitcoin halving and says that because of this perfect storm, the growth of Bitcoin will be parabolic. Let's get into the latest interview with Mark Yusko, as he offers an intriguing insight into the current state of cryptocurrency, the halving dynamics with Bitcoin, and the role of major institutional players. Don't forget to share your thoughts and comments down below, and leave a like if you enjoy the content we do here.
There was all this rhetoric about the market's too volatile and too unregulated and too easy to be manipulated. Are you kidding me? How about these triple leveraged VIX ETFs that have lost 99.99999% because they're just silly. They're stupid. They're totally manipulated. They're totally bad for clients. And the SEC let those get approved day and night because they're very profitable for the companies that issue them. That said, there was all this rhetoric that we can't have a Bitcoin spot ETF. Oh, but we can have a futures ETF. Well, what does a futures ETF allow you to do? It allows you to create paper assets. And anytime there's an imbalance of paper assets to physical assets, think oil, think natural gas, think wheat, think anything, you can get these big spikes and big crashes. And that's exactly what happened. So people were able, $1 billion flowed into the futures ETF. Well, for every long, there has to be a short. Well, who would be writing those naked shorts? Maybe the same institutions that now are going to get approved to go long at a lower price. So my point on Bitcoin is the halving, it guarantees movement. And what do I mean by that? Meaning I'm a miner. If I were a miner, I bought a bunch of machines, I put them in the room, I plugged them in, and I rent that computing power to the network, to the Bitcoin network, and I get paid block rewards. Block rewards are the payment that I receive for providing compute. And my costs are fixed, my electricity is fixed, my machines are fixed. If suddenly, which is in code every 4 years, my rewards get cut in half, I'm out of business, unless price rises. So what has happened in every halving so far, the price adjusts to make the miners whole. That makes sense. Well, if the price doubles, right? Because the price, the block rewards fall in half, so the price has to double. Well, if your price doubles, what does that do? Well, that attracts speculation. And if speculators come in and then leverage comes in, the price will go from a linear increase to a parabolic increase. And we've seen that every single time. So I can look at what the fair value is of Bitcoin using a Metcalfe's law model. And Tim Peterson has the best one, and I just use his. And it would have told me that in 2017, the fair value was $10,000. So when it hit $20,000, it was destined to go down. And it did, all the way to $3,000 because people got overly pessimistic. And then it rallied, and I could see that the fair value in 2020 was $30,000, but we went to $69,000. So it was going to go down. So I believe fair value today is $55K using that Metcalfe's Law model. I believe that every halving 10x's the total value of the network. And that's just because the number of people and the way Metcalfe's Law works, and there's an exponential growth factor. And so we start with 1,000, then we went to 10,000, then we went to 100. So I think this halving goes to 100,000 will be the fair value. So fair value will accrete from 55K today to, by the halving middle of summer next year, $100,000 will be fair value. But we won't go to 100,000. We will get to 100,000 and then we'll have speculation. Now, how much speculation? Depends on the approval and the timing of the approval and where we are in the adoption cycle and how much of that 300 billion is coming in. It depends on the amount of leverage that allows people to increase their buying power. And I think the leverage will be lower this time. And so let's say we blow through that 100K and we're at 150K. That seems reasonable to me. So somewhere between 100 and 150K. That seems like a rational response to the halving and to the potential increase in demand from a from a spot ETF. Nothing against Kathy. I think she's built a great business, and I think she has good insight that there probably will be multiple approvals. But I'm going to stand by my statement that BlackRock will be first. So if they meaning the SEC, stand by their deadline, I think they will reject the ARK 21 shares. And full disclosure, we are investors in Amun and 21 shares, so we'd be happy for them to get approval. But I don't see it happening. I really do believe BlackRock will be first, and therefore there are two, I think, ahead of BlackRock that they either need to push, so extend and pretend, shall we say, or just reject, make them refile and go to the back of the line so BlackRock can be first.
Despite acknowledging the challenges and delays we're seeing, Yusko remains bullish about the future of Bitcoin. He points out that while speculators initially drive price movements, gamblers entering the market disrupt the cycle by pushing prices beyond fair value, resulting in crashes. He projects significant optimism about historical trends that indicate a roughly 10x increase in value with each halving event, with the next one in March of 2024, is scheduled to propel Bitcoin to $100,000. As technology evolves and the demand for decentralized and inflation-resistant assets grows, Bitcoin is positioned to play a significant role in reshaping the way people invest and use money. Yusko also draws attention to how governments' monetary policies have led to the devaluation of fiat currencies over time, impacting the purchasing power of money. In contrast, Bitcoin's limited supply makes it an attractive alternative investment for those seeking to preserve their wealth. What do you think about the latest interview with Mark Yusko? And what are your thoughts on his newest prediction of Bitcoin heading into the halving event and its impact on crypto price movement? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video.